What's up, everybody? It's Andrew here with 765 Disc Review, and today we have the MVP Discs Zenith. So this is 172 grams in neutron plastic. So when it comes to this disc, how it feels, it is incredibly flat. And I would even dare to say that the 11-speed rim feels a little bit wide compared to some of the other 11-speed rims that I felt. Maybe it's just in my head, that's totally a possibility there, but just kind of how it feels for me. So we'll go ahead and go into it. So the flight numbers here that we've got for it are 11, 5, negative 0.52. So 11 speed, then we've got 5 glide, negative 0.5 turn, and 2 fade. So as far as what I experienced there, I thought that actually just looked up the flight numbers before making this video here because I was kind of under the impression from what I thought I'd seen and then what I experienced in the flight, I had kind of imagined that it was going to be like 11, 5, 0, 2.5, I think. So what I experienced here was a disc that, in my opinion, was a little bit more stable, and I'm even going to say a decent amount more, or a decent amount less glide than what the flight numbers would state. So this has got it as a 5 glide here. I would almost like 4, definitely, maybe even 3.5 as far as what I've experienced here. So with this disc, I think a big part of it, I think, is going to be how flat it is, because this disc is so board flat that I almost imagine that that's got to be taking away from the glide. I think if I found a little bit of a domier one, I might find that to match up a little bit more. As far as the negative 0.5 turn goes, I didn't really see much turn. The only time I really saw any turn out of it is when I really kind of forced it with an Anheuser angle on my release. So I didn't really see much of that. And then the fade, in my experience, was pretty strong. I would say more like 2.5 or maybe even a 3 fade as far as those go. Overall, this is going to be a really solid disc. It's a really reliable disc. That's one of my favorite things I learned about this disc, is that you can rely on this disc. It can handle some good headwinds, maybe not ripping headwinds, but it's definitely a disc that I could trust on forehands as far as those go. Another good thing about it, number 2, I should say, would be just kind of the flatness of it for a forehand thrower. That's something as well that I can really value, even if it is a little bit too flat, like I said, to the point where I think it's affecting the flight. It is a pretty comfortable disc as far as all those things go. So as far as the bad goes, like I said, not a ton bad to say about the disc, like I said, but I also, while I went through some perks of it there, I don't know that any of those things were really like a crazy outlier for me. Okay, so as far as the bad things go, just kind of goes back to maybe being a bit too flat there to a point where it's affecting the flight. And I think the flight numbers were maybe a little off, at least from my experience with this disc. But overall, it's not a bad disc for you to try, especially if you're pushing 325, 350 there. I think that this can be a solid disc for you as well. And even if you're not, if you want to have fun and try it out and see how it goes, that's definitely a worthwhile venture for you as well. So not a bad one, not a great one there, kind of in between, but reliable, and that's probably the best thing about it. So that's something to keep in mind if you're thinking about trying out the MVP Discs Zenith. So thanks for watching.